ACC Basketball is being brought to you by Food Lion, official supermarket of the ACC. By New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. By Coyote Tractor. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
The aftermath and the celebration on January 9th. After the Pittsburgh Panthers defeated Louisville in overtime at home 89-86, it stopped a 19-game ACC regular season losing streak for the Panthers, who are here this afternoon on Raycom Sports to take on the Cardinals. Now time for our Carolina Ford dealers' keys to the game with Brian Oliver.
Well, Tom, I think that basically coming off of this game that they're trying to be able to get another win. For Pitt, you want to create defensive havoc. That last win against Louisville, they had 29 points off of turnovers. For Louisville, you got to be able to control the dribble drive. One of the things that Pitt guards were able to do is get to the rack, and they have to be able to slow them down if they're going to not allow them to get another win.
That is first-year head coach for the Louisville Cardinals, Chris Mack. 10th overall, 9 seasons as the head man at Xavier, where he won 215 games, a school record. He's seeking his 230th career victory today. His cards are in the white. Panthers visiting blue, and the opening tip is controlled by the Cardinals. Wara aggressively to the rim, knocked around, and Wilson Frame grabs it for the Panthers. Pittsburgh is 12-7 on the season, 2-4 in conference play, but 0-4 away from their Pittsburgh campus and Peterson Event Center, and 0-2 in conference. Shot clock is down to 8. Shot clock to 2. A driving Johnson. Here's Cunningham. For the Cardinals, who are 14-5, they're 5-1 in conference play. Beat NC State, the number 21 team in the nation, on Thursday, 84-77. Williams. He made a couple of 3 balls in the game on Thursday against the Pack.
But neither team being able to establish any offensive rhythm. One of the things, obviously, for Pitt is they have not been able to get to the rim. One thing that they were able to do in that win earlier in the year against Louisville.
Sutton was driving, but here comes Brown to reject that one and send it into photographer's row.
And you see Louisville, Sutton trying to get to the basket. Brown is one of those guys that can knock down, can block shots.
First in ACC play in blocks, and third in the conference in overall games. Had 9 blocks, a school record, in a win against Colgate. Sutton for 3.
One of the things about Dwayne Sutton's game, if he's knocking down that 3, he's already a dangerous penetrator. He's one of those guys that we talked about earlier, is that Louisville wants to get him off to an early start.
25th, made 3 of the season for Sutton, who went 2 for 3 from beyond the arc in the win Thursday against the Pack, and he got to double digits with 10 points. Knocked away, taken back. Tony to the rim for Pittsburgh.
Nice pickup by Tony, being able to recover that ball. They're trying to establish Brown, give him some touches early, put a little pressure on Malik Williams and make him a defender.
Adese Tony, who struggled in the most recent game for the Panthers on Tuesday against number 2 Duke, 79-64. The Blue Devils have already posted a win today against Georgia Tech in ACC play. Cunningham launching a 3-ball. Weak side board is run down. Wara with the save. Williams tried the quick pass, never had control of it though.
Early turnovers by Louisville, something that you don't want to do because you don't want to give this Pitt team an opportunity to get in transition, something that they excel at.
Knocked away. Sutton has it. Cunningham into the paint. Found 4 for 3.
Louisville being able to find the range, all of that set up by Kristen Cunningham. That's one of the things that he has done in conference play, is look to penetrate, get his teammates started off early. Eventually, he'll look for his own offense.
Quan Ford tied a season high with 9 points on Thursday. Williams defending. Shot rolls off the iron on the attempt from Johnson. Wara got it right back for Wara. Free ball.
Jordan Wara trying to get off to an early start. Last game against Pitt, didn't have a really good game. One of the things you have to watch out for him is that you don't want to get him started. Wilson Frame coming up with knocking down the three. Big three and big shot in the arm for them. Jeff Capel definitely wants to get him off to a good start this afternoon.
Brian, you're right. Pittsburgh struggled from beyond the arc against Duke. Just 3 of 15 for the Panthers in that loss against the Blue Devils on Tuesday. They're trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Are these Panthers on the road today? Sutton eyes the shot clock at 7. Spun into a double team. Knocked away Brown. McGowens and Johnson, the freshman duo sensation for the Panthers. Tony misfires.
Tom Louisville doing a good job at being able to corral Johnson. I thought in the first game they didn't do a good job being able to control the dribble driver. You saw it last time on a pick and roll. They've got the big showing a little bit, forcing him to get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, McGowens and Johnson combined for 54 points. Pittsburgh freshman duo record. Great pass to 4. Double-fisted jam for 4, and he's got 5.
Nice dime by Cunningham, being able to freeze the defense. He had 4 in his eyesight. Getting over there. I love the pace and what Christian Cunningham is playing with, looking to set up his offensive teammates.
Cunningham, 5th in the conference, over 4 assists per game. A pretty one to 4 who finished it off. 4 played strong D at the other end as well, Brian.
Well, you want to look out for your buddy. You want to make sure you get a nice little dime over to your homie, Kristen 4. Louisville up to a good start.
Louisville is off to its best start in ACC play at 5-1 since joining the conference, with Coach Chris Mack taking over this season, Brian.
Well, if you look at the improvements, 83 points a game, 17 assists, and it's one of the things for Louisville is that they're going to share the ball, they're going to try to get deflections, get out in transition, and already on display, Kristen Cunningham doing an excellent job of being able to set up his teammates.
Coach Mack is 1-1 against Pittsburgh, the loss earlier this season, but he also faced them in 2010 as the head coach of Xavier. That was in the NCAA tournament, and Xavier defeated the Panthers in the postseason. Jordan Wara, the leading scorer, has struggled for the Cards as 4 misses. Wara missed all 7 of his 3-point attempts on Thursday.
And one of the things about Jordan Wara is he's a guy that needs to get into some kind of rhythm. Sometimes if he has not felt it, he will have a tendency to force some shots. And if you're Chris Mack, you may want to run a couple of easy sets, get him rolling.
The foul will be against the Cardinals.
Well, you see Chukwuka slipping. Kristen Cunningham crowd basically arguing that call, but from my part from here, it looked like he may have still been in that zone there and not outside of the area. Chukwuka is one of those guys that gives this Pitt ball club a lot of different things on defense. Anything you get from him point-wise is a definite bonus.
So that was the first foul on Cunningham. Indier comes into the game for Pittsburgh. That is Johnson to the bench. Chukwuka. Those are free throw attempts number 20 and 21 on the season. He's got 1 of 2. Chukwuka did not score coming off the bench against Duke. Did have 5 rebounds in that loss. As Jeff Capel, the 7-year assistant at Duke, faced his former head coach and Mike Krzyzewski. Sutton near the baseline. A traveling violation against Sutton.
Indier being able to do a really good job. That last time Sutton dragging his foot. I thought with the height advantage that he has, you take a couple dribbles and then go. Last time I thought that Sutton didn't take advantage of having a mouse in the house by having a smaller defender on him.
Dribbling in traffic. Pittsburgh maintains possession. Wilson frame teeing up the 3-ball.
And if you're Quan Ford, you have to understand that the lone threat out there for Pitt as far as three-point shooters, Wilson.
So the Panthers have taken a 1-point lead. Sutton wants to take it right back but won't do it. Wilson frames, saves it on the baseline. McGowan's against 3 defenders, up off the square as he calculates the angle.
And Trey McGowan, that's where he excels. He wants to get downhill. That last time Wilson framed, realizing we can get out in transition. This Pitt ball club started off slow, being able to find some offense.
Panthers won it in overtime on January 9th at home against Louisville, 89-86.
Well, Pitt has been able to find some offense. Penetration, getting over the Wilson frame to knock down the 3. And then following by that, they're going to go out and then push. Trey McGowan's going downhill, being able to go against 3 Louisville defenders for the finish. Tom Wilson. Pitt has come out and been able to find their offense, and that's one of the things that they're going to focus on is trying to get some deflections. They're a tough bunch that plays good defensive perimeter. And the thing is, last game that they played in the victory, they were able to speed up Louisville.
Foul was called on the play against the Panthers. Chukwuka, his first. It's Jeff Capel. A couple of first-year head coaches here in the ACC. His 10th overall. Was the head coach at Oklahoma and Virginia Commonwealth. His team on a 6-0 run. McMahon is in the lineup. Enoch as well for the Cardinals. Cunningham tried to no-look pass over to Enoch, deflected out of bounds, and it's Panther basketball.
A little lazy pass by Cunningham. Wilson frame doing a good job of being able to rotate. Right now, I think that a little back and forth. Pitt is starting to, the tides are turning a little bit. Pitt trying to find some offense, doing a good job of being able to shut down Louisville in the half court.
Johnson comes flying out of that corner, but he travels.
Tom, I thought it interesting when we visited with Jeff Capel. He was a little concerned about his young bunch and the fact that they may be hitting that wall because he's got so many young players. We talked also about the expectations from going from a team that has not won, and you've got 2 big conference wins against Louisville and Florida State.
Cardinals have gone over 3 minutes without scoring. They've won 8 of their last 10 games, 5 of their last 6. War let the defender go on by. On the mark for 3, Jordan Nwora.
That's one of the things Jordan Nwora can get hot fast. Been a little quiet. That may be one of the things that gets him going.
45 3-pointers on the season for Nwora, and that leads the team. His 3-pointer ties the game.
Jordan Nwora is one of those guys that's got going. When you can shoot it, step back, set him up. Hopefully to get him rolling. Jordan Nwora with the 3.
Our Coyote Tractor Player of the Week is Tyus Battle from Syracuse. ACC Player of the Week, 32 points in that upset win against #1 Duke, and they are on the road at Virginia Tech, Brian, later tonight against the Hokies.
That's going to be an important game for standings. Syracuse off to 5-1. Virginia Tech 4-2 at home. One of those things about Virginia Tech, they're going to try to press you, knock down threes, but you got a guy like Tyus Battle is on a run like that. I'm definitely trying to see that game. When we talked earlier, is that one of the things about playing in the ACC is that there is no nights off.
Mentioned that 5-1 record. At the start of the day, there were 5 teams at the top of the conference at 5-1, including this Louisville program. Duke has already posted a victory, and Virginia has a 20-point lead against Notre Dame. 6 games on the slate of the ACC on this Saturday afternoon. That was Enoch maneuvering in the paint.
I'd like to see them establish Enoch a lot. I think that there's an advantage for him as far as weight, and then that puts an awful lot of pressure on the interior of Pitt defense. You want to establish him and then play a little inside out.
Enoch, who had a double-double in the win at North Carolina, 17 points and 11 rebounds. Also made a couple of 3-pointers on Thursday against NC State in that victory.
Xavier Johnson's been relatively quiet. I think Louisville has done an exceptional job of being able to limit him and his penetration by being able to show him those pick and rolls.
Wilson Frame had made one from that corner earlier in the game, but this is Sutton who wrestles it away from the Panthers. Cunningham whips it to Wara, 5 feet behind the line. Enoch offensive glass.
Steven Enoch, I love that his aggression of going to the basket. Put back. It's one of the things that Louisville has to take advantage of is crashing the offensive boards.
Enoch had a big game in the loss at Pittsburgh. 14.7 boards off the bench, and now he's in the box score. Sutton. Eyes up. Wara ran into the double-team roadblock and an offensive foul. Jordan Wara, and he will protest. First foul on Wara.
Offensive foul being called on Jordan Wara. You see trying to force there between. I think Johnson was there. I thought he was set. Crowd not agreeing with it, but one of the things that I think that Jordan Wara needs to let this game come to him. He's playing with a good point guard, and Christian Cunningham is going to get him his touches. You don't want to force and feel that you have to get those shots up early.
Wara is the leading scorer for the Cardinals this season, 18.2 points per game. It's 6th best in the ACC. He was just 3 of 12, though, from the floor on Thursday against NC State.
And Trey Guy was not able to knock down that 3. He had an exceptional night. When they beat Louisville, Pitt not being able to get to the rim like they did before is one of the things that I think that was important for Louisville, is to be able to control the penetration. So far, they've done an exceptional job with that.
Wilson Frame coming out of the game. He's connected on 2 3-pointers on 4 attempts in total. And Pittsburgh has gone over 3.5 minutes now without scoring. 9:25 to go in the first half. McMahon extending the range, and Johnson has it for Pittsburgh. Miss from the corner for the Panthers, and Tony.
It seems that Louisville is committed to giving the Pitt guards those 3-point shots. Point of focus is getting the ball out of Xavier Johnson's hands and forcing someone else to beat him. So far, no one from Pitt other than Wilson Frame has been on a knockdown 3-point shot.
Louisville, the number 23 team in the country, back in the rankings this week for the first time since November of 2017.
Pittsburgh in that zone. I still think that you need to establish a little inside out.
Shot clock is running down for Cunningham. Sutton went up to tip it in.
Nice put back by Dwayne Sutton. If you're the Pitt guards, you have to turn around and put a body on someone. You know that Louisville's going to send 2 or 3 to the offensive glass.
Guards working on the 7-0 run. Tony lost it on the way up, and a whistle stops play.
One of the things that Louisville excels in is being able to send guys to the offensive glass. No one puts a body on Dwayne Sutton. He comes and crashes. And if you're Pittsburgh, you have to be able to send guys. You're a smaller lineup. Outside of Brown, you got pretty much 4 guards out there. You have to be able to put a body on someone.
Cards leading the rebounding battle 15-7 here in the first half. And officials will run it back down the other end. Pat Driscoll, Brian O'Connell, Tony Chiazza. Our officiating crew for this afternoon on Raycom Sports. Tom Wormy, Brian Oliver, and our outstanding ACC basketball production crew from Raycom Sports. Tony. Rattled in and out for Tony.
But if you're Jeff Capel, you'll take that.
Offensive foul. Right near midcourt. It's going against McMahon as Johnson had the position for Pittsburgh.
And that's one of the things that Jeff Capel teaches his group, is to be able to absorb that contact. Nice play by Johnson, be able to get there. McMahon not able to adjust. And if you're Jeff Capel, you have to be happy where your guys are right now.
The double team, Brian, creates a traveling violation against McGowan's. It's back to the Cards, and the players have some post-whistle exchange.
Well, things a little chippy early. You got this Pitt Ball Club seeking their first win on. And you see McGowan's over there with Wara. You don't think that both of these teams want to win. You got Louisville trying to avenge a loss and Pitt trying to capture their first road win.
Panthers 0-2 in conference away from Pittsburgh. Lost on Tuesday against Duke at home. Enoch kicked it back out to 4. Fancy dribbling, can't finish it off. Enoch battling inside. And a foul was called on the play. Back to KFC Yum Center in just a moment. Time for Know Your Score, brought to you by Lending Tree. So let's go around the ACC. Duke has gone to 6-1. R.J. Barrett, 24 points in the win against Georgia Tech, and Zion Williamson had 22 points. And Virginia closing in on a victory as well. They would improve their conference record to 6-1 also, Brian.
Yeah, how about Virginia this year? I always thought that they were a very good defensive team, but offensively, they have stepped it up. They're a different team from last year.
Jeff Capel, Chris Mack. Second meeting this season between the programs. Prior to the win by Pittsburgh earlier this year, Louisville had won 12 in a row in the series. And then the Panthers took it in overtime. Enoch on the block. Turnaround. King comes flying in and just ripped it away for the Panthers.
Offensive rebounds for Louisville. The second time you get the pick guards just turning and looking. You can't allow a guy like V.J. King to just come sliding down the lane. Got to put a body on him.
V.J. King. Foul in the corner on that three-point attempt.
Well, Thomas, you play really good defense in the zone. The first thing you got to do, you see the ball go inside to Stephen Enoch. Everyone's converging. No one fails to put a body on a slashing V.J. King. And for a guy like King, who has struggled a little bit, you got to put a hand on him. But then on the other end, if you've got Pitt guards that are not shooting the ball, the last thing you want to do if you're Jordan Wara is put them on the line, a guy like Davis, for 3 shots.
Brian, you're right. Pittsburgh just 27% shooting in this first half, and Wara has 2 personal fouls. Cameron Davis, the sophomore, at the free throw line. Here's a message from CPI Security.
Get the best security and smart home solutions all in one app from CPI Security, the official security partner of ACC basketball.
So the Cardinals with some substitutions. Cameron Davis at the line. These are free throw attempts. Number 7, 8, and 9 on the season for Davis. And his first points of the afternoon.
Pitt's going to mix up their looks a little bit, extend a little bit with some soft pressure, try to get a deflection, maybe fall back into a matchup zone.
And Louisville didn't get it across midcourt.
Louisville a little lax in trying to get the ball past half court.
Turnover number 7 for the Cardinals.
And that's one of the problems they had at Pittsburgh, is turning the ball over. And one of the things if you got to be concerned if you're Chris Mack is that Xavier Johnson has yet to find his offense.
And driving to the rim is Xavier Johnson. And that ends a drought of over 6 minutes as far as made field goals are concerned for the Panthers, with Johnson all the way to the rim.
Pittsburgh has not shot the ball extremely well, and to be down 2 right now, Louisville has yet to be able to find some consistent offense.
Cunningham couldn't get to the basket. 4! It's a three-pointer, and he's got 8 points in the first half.
Both teams trying to find their offense. And Xavier Johnson does exceptional, being able to get a little bit in and out. He's one of those guys, again, if he can get downhill, knock it down. But Quan Four is improved as a three-point shooter, known for his defense, knocking down that three. His third three of the game.
So Four had just 7 made threes all season coming into the afternoon. The bucket by Johnson on the previous sequence was his first of the ball game. Malik Williams with a rebound. About to cross the 6-minute threshold of the first half. Louisville and Pittsburgh. Williams trying to get out of the trap. Shot clock's at 10. King. Foul after the drive from King. It's going to be against the Cardinals. Malik Williams. And his first. Chris Mack's team just 4 of 12 from three-point distance. They are second in ACC play. They make about 10 threes per game.
If you're Jeff Capel, I think that you want to get Xavier Johnson going. He's been able to come off of that pick and roll. I think the opportunity to be able to get a slide.
He threw it in the corner to Davis, and now the drive is good.
How good is Trey McGowan's being able to slice through 2 guys and get to the basket? That's one of the things that he does, is be able to go downhill and get that shot to the basket.
This is Sutton in on Brown. Taken by McGowan's. Contact made near midcourt by King. First on King.
Pitt, great pass and ball rotation, gets it over to McGowan's, not settling for that jumper. Being able to go and get to the basket is one of the things that he does. And for this Pitt ball club, guards doing a good job of being able to get to the basket. Earlier in the first half, Louisville being able to stop them, but as of late, Pitt guards starting to find their offense.
Xavier Johnson, high rebound. We'll keep it at this end of the floor, and the foul against the Cardinals. Sutton has picked up his first. Bonus situation for both teams. It's going to put Chukwuka at the free throw line. Junior from Stockholm, Sweden, 6'9" and 225 pounds. As McMahon re-enters, VJ King will leave. He is one of the co-captains, along with Cunningham. Our coverage of ACC basketball being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the world. So proud to have you with us, and we hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Saturday afternoon in Louisville, Kentucky. Chukwuka now with 3 points.
And Tom, if you're Pittsburgh, you want this kind of pace right now. You don't want Louisville out getting easy transition baskets and yet another turnover. If you're Jeff Capel, this is the type of game you want to muck it up. You want to be physical and aggressive, get Louisville out of sorts. And right now, they have not been able to have any kind of continuity in their offense.
Davis to Chukwuka. Quick double, and he backs it out. Inside of 4.5 minutes to go in our first half. Johnson. Foul underneath as McMahon and Wilson Frame got tangled up. That's the first on Wilson Frame.
Neither one of these teams, Tom, shooting the lights out of it. If you're Louisville, you got to find some kind of offense, especially with this lineup that you got. You've got a lot of guys out here that can score, but I still think that they need to try to establish Malik Williams on the interior.
Pittsburgh just 2 of 11 from the floor. Most recently. That's McMahon at the free throw line. Louisville shooting 33%. Panthers are shooting 30% in our first half. And the first point for McMahon. Had 9 points on Thursday, 19 minutes off the bench. 93% from the free throw line for McMahon. Just doesn't have enough chances to qualify, or else his average would be the best in the ACC for the redshirt junior from Sarasota, Florida. Johnson, Chukwuka.
Nice dime by Xavier Johnson. What he's doing is pulling Malik Williams just long enough for Chukwuka to dive, for someone to rotate, and then he's coming back and nice dime over for the finish.
Double team on 4. Trying to step on through. Cunningham helps him. Cunningham falling away and hitting his first basket of the game.
I love the headiness by Cunningham. This is a guy with veteran leadership. Good finish.
There is a timeout on the floor with the Cardinals up by 3. Pittsburgh is taking it. A perfect day for hoops in Louisville, Kentucky.
First half with Louisville up 24-21. One of the things that's plagued them all afternoon are costly turnovers. Already 8 turnovers, and one of the things that has really bothered them is Pitt has put a lot of pressure on them and forced them into speeding up their offense. And Tom, I think that not being able to have continuity in their offense has contributed to Louisville not having any kind of fluidity as far as their offense. Right now you see the shooting percentage. Neither one of the teams shooting the lights out of it.
Louisville 36% from the floor, well below their season average of 46%, which is 8th in the ACC. Louisville was able to turn over NC State on Thursday. They had 37 points off of 23 NC State turnovers. Not quite the case so far today against Pittsburgh.
So one of the things I like about Pitt is that even though they don't shoot the ball exceptionally well from behind the three-point line, is the fact that with their offense, a lot of motion, and nice split by Johnson to get to the cup.
Johnson's got 4 points. Pittsburgh just 2 of 11 from three-point distance in the first half, as you mentioned, Brian, and Wilson Frame is responsible for both of those makes.
And one of the things I like about Xavier Johnson, he's strong guard, real quick, love that he can split, and he's super explosive and finishes well at the rim.
He is the leading scorer for this Pittsburgh team, almost 17 points per game. McMahon stumbled down, scooped up. Here come the Panthers, 3-on-1. Wilson Frame trying to fill the lane, and it gets the bounce.
Nice finish by Wilson Frame. I thought that ball had a chance to go out of the bounds, and this is what Pittsburgh wants to do. First lead of the game. And they've made it hard for Louisville because they have not been able to get the shots that they want. I didn't like that shot by McMahon.
Johnson, 4 hustling back, and he deflects it out of bounds as Johnson was looking to make a play, but the Panthers have taken a 1-point lead.
You see Xavier Johnson be able to split and get to the basket. Nice finish. And then after that, defense and offense get in a deflection. When they get that, they're out and running, being able to finish. And a nice finish by Wilson Frame. Pittsburgh get on a nice little run right now.
Brian, remember for Johnson against Duke earlier this week, just 8 points. It's the only game this season he hasn't gotten to double digits in scoring.
But I like that he's allowed the game to come to him. He's trying to get his other teammates going and find his offense. And sooner or later, they're going to start knocking down those threes. Ndiaye with a big 3.
First points for Sidi Ndiaye, the graduate student from France. And just his 9th made 3 of the season. Enoch's in trouble in the corner. Sutton tried to help him, lost the handle. Ndiaye. Panthers by 4. Largest lead of the game for Pittsburgh, and 1:38 to go in our first half.
They've seen the more physical team on defense. They have committed to double teaming, and then they're out and running and taking advantage. A nice pass over to Chukwuka.
Ndiaye looking for his second made 3 of the game. Cunningham, defender on his hip, sheds him, but the foul is called. It will be against Cunningham.
Tom, again, I think that the Pitt defenders are getting under the Louisville players' skin right now. You see Cunningham with a little bit of a chicken wing, seeing a little frustration on the Louisville players.
Chris Mack is not in agreement with our trio of officials. But the Panthers lead it by 4, 1:18 to go in the half, and it's a 7-0 run as they take timeout.
And that 7-0 run, Pitt has been able to do a lot of different things created by their defense and being able to get to the basket. They have taken advantage of going downhill, getting out in transition, finishing well. They've gotten under the skin of Louisville, being able to knock down threes. If you're Jeff Capel, you have to be happy with how your players have responded in this first half on the road.
Pittsburgh 2-4 in ACC play. They came up empty in ACC games a season ago and only won 8 games in total. Jared Wilson framed a couple of threes. He's gone 3 for 5 from the floor. And Coach Capel told us prior to the game he loved the fact that people thought they had a chance to beat Duke earlier this week.
Well,
that's what they've done.
I'm sorry, Tom. One of the things that you see from Pitt is that they have been really physical with the guards on the perimeter for Louisville and how they have been attacking the rim. That last time, Wilson framed not being able to finish. If you're Louisville, you got to get some easy opportunities.
Foul is called against Pittsburgh. It's Xavier Johnson's second personal.
He said that last call then a block. But again, I think that Louisville, for me, they seem irritated. And it seems that they are not able to get where they want to go on offense. I think that the Pitt defenders have gotten under their skin a little bit. And if you're Chris Mack, you got to settle your team down. Don't know, hey, we got to play offense. Get the ball inside, run our offense, and let the game come to us.
McMahon's now 3 for 3 from the line. Coming up on the Hardy's halftime report, we'll take a look around a busy Saturday in the ACC. Duke posting a victory, Virginia as well. All that and more on the Hardy's halftime report from KFC Yum Center. So McMahon with the free throws makes it a 2-point game. We're inside of a minute to go in our first half. Endear sizing up a 3-ball, and it's all net, Brian Oliver.
Endear has come in, and he's giving them a shot in the arm. I like the fact that he's been cool under pressure. Last time coming out and made up his mind when he came out, he was shooting that 3.
2 for 3 from beyond the arc for Endear in the first half. About a 10-second differential, game and shot. 4, swings it out to Williams. He's got a 3.
Nice pass by Quan Ford, being able to make the defense converge. Getting the ball, you see the Louisville fans trying to cheer on their Cardinals.
First point to the game from Malik Williams. 5 seconds to go. And Deere was falling down. Give it up to Chukwuka, who scores right before the horn for the Panthers. And he had 7 points in the first half. And it's a 4-point lead for the Panthers to the locker room.
And we've gone back and forth, Tom. Both teams being able to get it going. Pittsburgh has been off to a wonderful start. You see the last time Deere knocking down the 3. And then coming back, Louisville answers with a 3 of their own. The penetration and the kick out to Malik Williams to knock that 3. And then to silence the Louisville Cardinals right there at the end. Nice dish over to Chukwuka to go into the half. Pittsburgh up, taking advantage.
Panthers have an 11-1 record this season when holding the halftime lead, which they've got here in Louisville, Kentucky. More on Raycom Sports after this. Here in Derby City, Churchill Downs and the statue of Barbaro, the 2006 Kentucky Derby winner. Justify, the most recent Kentucky Derby winner and Triple Crown winner. Right here at Churchill Downs. Certainly on a sports fan's bucket list here in Louisville, Kentucky. The Pittsburgh Panthers will start the second half with the ball and the lead by 4. They led by 10 in the previous meeting between the teams and went on to win in overtime in early January at Peterson Event Center. Trying to snap a 2-game losing streak as Johnson dumped it low. Difficult pass to Hindle and a turnover to Sutton. Deflected out of bounds as Tony was able to get back. There's our North Carolina Education Lottery first half stats. And celebrating 12 years and over $6 billion raised for education. To learn more, visit nclottery.com.
Well, I think one of the things that stood out for me is the 11 turnovers from Louisville. It's one of those things that has hampered them early in the first half.
Deep three-pointer. Just barely grazed the rim, but kept alive inside. Tony had it. It was deflected away from him. And then Tony ran into Wara.
First 5 minutes of the second half is going to determine which team is going to be able to establish himself. Neither team off to a really good start.
Wara's defender fell down, and he cashes in.
And here's the thing, for a guy who's a scorer, one of the things I wanted to do was I was struggling. I always wanted to see the ball go into the hoop. If you're Jordan Wara, you've got that basket, and now you start to breathe a little bit easier. Interested to see if he gets on a little run.
Wara now has 5 points for the game, averages over 18 points per game. And that is 6th best in the ACC as Williams has picked up his 2nd personal foul.
Well, Tom, we talked about earlier that for a guy that's a scorer, you want to be able to see the ball go into the hoop. May not be a pretty basket. If you struggle in the first half, you get that first one to go down, and now you're not worried about having a bad night.
Wilson Frame continues his exceptional afternoon. 3rd three-pointer, 11 points. Jared Wilson Frame.
Scouting report tells you that the best three-point shooter on this Pitt team is Wilson Frame. You got to put a hand on him. He's come out in that first half, had 2 big threes, start picking up where he started, where he left off from the first half.
He's got 45 made threes on the season now, best of this Pittsburgh roster. For Wilson Frame, one of the more experienced players as a senior. How about Williams scraping the roof of KFC Yum Center for 3?
Well, most big guys don't want to follow out there. You see Brown a little hesitant, but you got to understand that Malik Williams is one of those guys, if you give him a chance to put it up, he's going to shoot it and knock it down.
2nd three for Williams, who also hit 2 three-pointers on Thursday against NC State. Cunningham has the basketball for Louisville. Downshifting all the way to the glass. Tried to spin it up there. Was fouled in the process on the drive from Cunningham.
Well, most big guys don't want to put a hand out. You see rotation, Malik Williams, you give him a chance to put that up. Terrell Brown, you've got to come out and understand, scouting report is that you've got a guy in Williams that would prefer to knock down that 3, sometimes even than being on the post. Louisville coming out with a little bit more energy than they finished off the first half.
First free throws of the afternoon for Cunningham. Cardinals as a team shot 29 on Thursday against the Pack and made 24 of them. Busy day in the ACC, 6 games. Virginia's improved to 6-1 with a road victory against Notre Dame. Its only loss for Virginia on the road at Duke. What an outstanding basketball game that was. And guess what, Brian Oliver? Tied at 36 early second half.
I'd like to see McGowans get going. Johnson has done a good job of being a good distributor. Those are their 2 leading scorers. You want to see those 2 guys get rolling.
This is Johnson. A little too much dribbling. Lost the handle. Pittsburgh tried to get it back, and the foul goes against the Panthers. It's Audice Toney.
It seems like Louisville has come out with the commitment that they're trying to up this pace a little bit. One of the things that they can do is be able to get those deflections and get out in transition. They don't want to have to run their half-court offense. See, right now, Kristen Cunningham trying to push the pace.
Cunningham is a transfer and a graduate student from Samford, where he played 110 games and started them all. He's got the basketball. Williams. Sutton was the cutter.
That play was all set up by Kristen Cunningham being able to get into the defense. Great read by Williams, get it over to a slashing Dwayne Sutton for the dime.
Cardinals have seized the lead in the second half after trailing by 4 at halftime, and Toney travels in the corner back to Louisville.
Advantage starting to shift a little bit in Louisville's favor. It's a nice little dump off to a slash in Dwayne Sutton. Louisville trying to pick up the pace a little bit. I like the fact that they're not being stagnant. They let the ball pop from one way to the other. Kristen Cunningham getting everyone in their right spots.
7 points now for Sutton. Cardinals on a 7-0 run.
Louisville had a little difficulty in the first half with that zone.
Wara, shot clock was draining. Missed the shot. McGowan's. Looked like Sutton ran into him.
See Sutton complaining, saying that McGowan stuck his foot out.
Second foul against Sutton. First year for Chris Mack on that bench. Humble beginnings for Chris Mack. 1999, he was the JV girls coach at Macaulay High School in Cincinnati. And now he leads one of the most prominent programs in the history of college basketball.
And he's one of the college basketball's brightest young coaches. I love his attention to detail.
Wilson frame. Williams position and board. Deflected away. McGowan's 4 hustling back. And McGowan scores. Foul on 4. Chance at a 3-point play. Trey McGowan's.
Nice finish by Trey McGowan's. Hit being able to get in, get a little offense, get out. Nice finish. Hit on a run.
It's boat time, so that means we're checking the Bojangles fan of the game. And there he is waving right at us, our former broadcast colleague here at Raycom Sports, Gary Clem, longtime director and longtime Cardinal fan. Lives in the area. And it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Gary Clem. Got a chance to chat with him prior to the game. And he's enjoying an afternoon of basketball on Raycom Sports. We're tied at 38 with McGowan's at the free throw line and 6 points.
Amazing to see that sometimes when guys are quiet, McGowan hasn't had a loud game. You imagine that his eyes would have light up when he saw this Cardinal team off to a slow start.
Wara misses. Jarrett frame. Wilson frame with the rebound. McGowan's up against a double team. An offensive foul against McGowan's on the drive.
And you see the penetration. He comes in. He and Quan Ford have been going at it all afternoon. Get that elbow up in that facial area. Offensive foul.
Official Brian O'Connell right on top of the play. Entry denied. Back to Cunningham. Long distance. Sutton trying to track it down. Stumbled and couldn't get to it, out of bounds right in front of that Louisville bench.
Good defensive possession for Pitt. Louisville has still not been able to find a way to remedy that zone. I'd still like to see them give Stephen Enoch a touch on the inside. Give the big man a touch and let him go to work. Go out inside out.
Cards have had a demanding schedule this season. 3-2 against ranked opponents. Wins against NC State, Michigan State, and a big one against North Carolina on the road. Lost to Tennessee and Marquette. Wilson frame. Enoch deflected it away from a driving Wilson frame. Cunningham. His pass hit the backboard. Enoch made the catch and finished it off.
How about the cover, the play from Stephen Enoch? Not the best pass by Christian Cunningham.
Enoch's got 4. Cards by 1. Chukwuka does not get the roll. Cunningham. 3 ball from the corner pocket. No good. And Chukwuka the clearance and pass.
Louisville trying to push the pace. Not able to capitalize in transition. Been able to limit them to a one and done. Need a little offense.
McGowan's. And he walked back to Louisville, up by 1.
Time I thought first half, pace favored Pitt. Second half, Louisville, even though they haven't been able to get any separation, picking the pace up a little bit, trying to get out in transition and running. Pace definitely favoring Louisville.
Jeff Capel has a very capable assistant on his bench. His brother Jason, you saw just a moment ago. Alley-oop up top. Enoch from Wara for the Cardinals, and Enoch's got 6.
Wara found Chukwuka sleeping. Nice lob to his partner, giving Enoch some more touches.
Johnson's pass was deflected. Wilson frame out of the corner. And Deere, Cunningham the quick hands. And Deere clipped him.
For Louisville, you want to get out in transition. And one of the things you can do is get those deflections. You see nice little lob over to Stephen Enoch. Chukwuka fell asleep right there. You've got to always play the ball. And again, Tom, Louisville seems that they have been committed to getting out. Chris Mack is encouraging his guys. When we get it, we want to put the pressure on Pittsburgh.
Panthers have turned the ball over 4 times in the last 2:45, and the Cards have made the most of it and lead 42-39 in our second half on Raycom Sports. Enoch again, too strong. Davis came away with it.
Enoch not able to come up with it. I still like them being able to give him a shot and give him touches inside.
Johnson had the initial drive, and then Chukwuka was in on the follow. And there are free throws forthcoming for Pittsburgh.
If you're Jeff Capel, you have to like the fact that your guys are fighting here on the road. Louisville's had a lot of opportunities to try to get some separation in this game, but his guys still managed to stay there. Chukwuka is one of those guys that's going to fight down there.
Three of 4 from the line for Chukwuka. Jeff Capel with those 2 conference wins, and that includes the OT win at home against Louisville. They've already exceeded their win total from a season ago.
Well, and here's the thing. You knock off a ranked team at Florida State. You knocked off a team a couple of weeks ago in Louisville who is currently in the top 25. And there are expectations at Pitt. I think coming into the season, there are probably a lot of people did not imagine that they would be where they are in the conference with already 2 wins early.
Panthers, though, have lost 17 straight road games and 14 straight in the ACC. Last one a road game, February of 2017 at Boston College. McMahon. Wilson frame went down. Cardinal basketball. Timeout on the court and even 12 minutes to go on Raycom Sports with the Cards in front.
Against Carolina, 17-11 on the road.
Career high numbers in that instance for Enoch, and his first and only career double-double as a transfer from UConn. 7 points, 8 rebounds for Enoch in our game. He's got the entry from Wara. Over Chukwuka. Wilson framed the board.
Enoch showing a little frustration. I think he wished he had that one back. Made a great move being able to spin off of Chukwuka. He's got to finish that with his left hand.
Wilson Frame, the only player in our game to get the double digits so far. Chukwuka misses in tight. Couple of close-in misses at each end of the floor for each team. King. Johnson. McMahon on the outlet. Trying to leave it for Wara. It was deflected away. Wara got it back, and he goes in for the jam.
How about Jordan Wara not giving up on the play? I thought that McMahon tried to get too cute with it.
7 points, Jordan Nwora, and a 5-point lead for the Cardinals. McGowan's dancing on the baseline, and he stepped out of bounds.
Louisville getting out in transition. You see the last time McMahon trying to lob it up for Nwora. Good play by Davis. Nwora not giving up on the play.
Timeout on the court, and the Cards up by 5 against the Panthers.
Talking about how he gets to the basket. That's hard to challenge.
He had 22 points on 9 of 12 shooting. Teammate R.J. Barron had 24 points. They are 1 and 2. Barrett Williamson in scoring for the ACC. And now they're 6-1 in conference play after the win against Georgia Tech, which led at halftime. Nwora swooping in, comes up short. Johnson trying to go around Cunningham. Patience. Wilson frame, second effort. McMahon, Cunningham, Nwora flying down that baseline, and he was fouled.
How about Steven Enoch on that defensive possession, being able to stay big down there, not commit the foul. And then if you're Christian Cunningham, you come out, try to get it over to Jordan Nwora, not settling for the three, going in to absorb the contact.
They gave the foul to McGowan's. 73% from the stripe on the season for Jordan Nwora, sophomore from Buffalo, New York, and played his prep ball at Vermont Academy. Sutton back into the game for Louisville.
Nwora's been quiet. You see 8 points, but I still like that he has come out and he's affected the game in other facets, not just scoring. I'm sure Chris Mack is always in his ear about being a defensive presence.
He is their leading scorer and rebounder. On the other end for the Panthers, the drought continues, approaching 6 minutes without points.
And this is where you're looking for McGowan's or Johnson to step up all season long. They've been the go-to guys. Offensive foul on Brown.
That's the 4th on Brown as Williams hit the deck.
That's one of the things that's plagued Terrell Brown all season long. You see Malik Williams taking that shot right there in the chest.
This 46-39 lead for Louisville is its largest of the ball game, led by as many as 6 in the first half, but trailed by 4 at halftime to Jeff Capel and the Pittsburgh Panthers. So Louisville trying to go to 6-1 in conference play and stay at top of those standings.
And you see Terrell Brown making that effort. And you see officials looking at he and Williams going back and forth, and then steps in and gives him a shot with an elbow. So officials come over and notifies a common foul. I think they were checking to see if it was a flagrant.
9:42 to go from KFC Yum Center. Tom Wormy along with Brian Oliver as the Panthers come up with a steal. Johnson slashing his way past the defenders.
How about that finish by Xavier Johnson, being able to slither between the two defenders? That's one of the things that get him going. Louisville have a little bit of difficulty with this extended pressure by Pitt.
6 points now for Johnson, Brian. He is the leading scorer for the Panthers. Nwora, quick passing, easy bucket, Sutton.
Great read by Christian Cunningham. He got over to the corner, forced all of the Pitt defenders to get over. Nice little double for Nwora over to his friend, Sutton.
Sutton now with 9 points. Difficult shot, blocked Williams on McGowan's.
Louisville's done a better job this afternoon of being able to get to Gowans. You see Malik Williams using his length. I think one of the problems for Trey McGowan's all afternoon, he's trying to initiate too much contact rather than just get to the basket.
Johnson, Chukwuka did well to maintain possession, but the shot clock is at 3. Wilson frame, heaves it up and makes it.
Wilson Frame being able to quiet that drought. Again, hit into that extended defense.
14 points, Jared Wilson Frame, the senior from Hartford, Connecticut. McMahon backing it up and knocking it down.
Good pass by Cunningham over to McMahon. Strap him up, here we go.
7 points for Ryan McMahon. 51-44 Cards. Wilson Frame, not this time, and Sutton the rebound. McMahon. Cunningham directing some traffic. Alley-oop.
Oh, my! Whoa! I definitely have to see that one.
Timeout on the court. We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station.
Louisville has been able to expand on this league. One of the things they've been able to do is you see Jordan Ward, no one really playing. He's right behind there. How about Christian Cunningham with a no-look to be able to get Jordan Ward for the explosive slam? You see, great setup by Cunningham. Everyone thinking that they're not playing, and he goes in to finish it. Louisville off to a 11-5 run. That's one of those things that for Louisville, they want to be able to up the pace. Love Christian Cunningham and being able to settle everyone down and then finish that off with an explosive play.
So despite the miss by Wara, he's got 6 of the last 11 Louisville points. Largest lead of the afternoon for the Cardinals. Johnson spun into the double team. McGowan's. Shot clock at 5 for Johnson. Driving on Cunningham. Williams had the help on the block. Sutton in transition to Williams. Run on the floor and out of bounds to Louisville.
How about Malik Williams being able to do it on both ends of the floor? Great help side defense coming over to help on Johnson to swat it. And how about the big man trying to get down to the end of the floor? To Chris Mack, that's definitely what you want.
Miss off the inbounds. Cardinals so impressive at home. 30-9 in ACC home games over the last 5+ seasons, and that's out of bounds to the Panthers. Jordan Ward leads the way.
He's been able to pick it up a little bit more in the second half, but Louisville with a balanced attack. One of the things that stood out is that defensively they've stepped it up and have not allowed Pitt to be able to get to the rim. One of the things that plagued them in the first meeting, Pitt winning at home.
Panthers won in OT in the first meeting between the teams on January 9th. Shot clock inside of 10 for Pittsburgh. Johnson. Williams again came over for the help. Johnson missed. Cunningham fires it up to Wara. Able to hang on to it. Wara's shot was blocked inside by Davis.
Good transition defense by Pitt. See Xavier Johnson trying to be able to put this team on his back. I think he's forcing it a little bit too much.
McGowan's. Davis to the bucket without the basketball. 2-on-1. Wara does it himself. Basket and foul against Johnson.
Good defense by Louisville. Again, they want to get out in transition. Jordan Wara had the option to be able to pass it off, come up with the deflection, trying to play head mouse, absorbing the contact, being able to finish. Again, a nice move, concentration for the and one.
As Wara steps to the free throw line, the Cards are 8 of 9 as a team from the stripe. He's up to 13 points.
And Tom, that's one of the things that Louisville has been able to do a better job of in the second half, is being able to keep the Pitt guards in front of them. They're getting those deflections, get out in transition. Something they were not able to do in the first half.
Johnson attacking the rim, and he meets Williams in midair.
You see Malik Williams and Xavier Johnson. I'm going to meet him at the rim. How many times have we seen Xavier Johnson, his explosiveness?
Of course, Williams is 6'11". Xavier Johnson goes 6'3", and a freshman from Woodbridge, Virginia. Stands at the free throw line with 6 points, adding to the total as an 83% free throw shooter for Johnson. Second best average in the conference as Williams will come out.
And you show the importance that he has with his ball club. Leads the team in scoring, assists, field goal attempts, field goals made, free throws attempts, and free throws made.
Yeah, he's up to 93 free throws made, best in the conference. Just 1 of 2 in that instance, though, for Johnson.
If you're Louisville, you've been able to get your offense and get the looks. You take your time, get into your pick and roll. Christian Cunningham does an awesome job of being able to read it. That's one of the things I love about him is the hesitation. Gives his big guy and Enoch enough time to get to the rim.
8 points now for Enoch. 6 assists for Cunningham. Panthers have the bucket at the other end.
And he gets downhill. When he gets steamed, it's not a blow-by. He's strong and athletic enough to be able to finish with the guard on his hip.
Cunningham. Tough catch for Enoch. Foul is called.
But Tom, one of the things you want to do with a pick and roll is you want to be able to make the defense commit. You see right here, Christian Cunningham is able to get Brown to come out, and he's got enough patience to realize that I'm going to give my big guy enough time, put it where he can get it. Nice lob and finish. Cunningham does a wonderful job on pick and roll.
Cardinals in the bonus. First free throw attempts for Stephen Enoch on the afternoon. Nine points for Enoch, who got the double figures for the 10th time this season on Thursday against NC State with 10 points.
I think one of the commitments that Louisville's made in the second half to get their big guys, especially Enoch, more touches has paid off for them because the big fella has been able to finish around the rim.
10 points for Enoch, double digits in 5 of his last 6 games. 60-47 Louisville. Enoch's got the double-double with 10 points and 10 boards. McGowan's tough shot in the lane. Foul is on Quan 4. Second personal.
So one of the things that Jeff Cable's going to have is his guys are going to play hard. You know, down 13, they're still trying to mix it up a little bit. I think if anything, if you spread Louisville out a little bit, try to get the pick and roll. You got to get something out of McGowan's. He's been really quiet second half.
7 points in total for McGowan's. Johnson has 9. But those guys combined for 31 points a game on average for the Panthers. Knocked away from Johnson to Enoch.
And that's where having a veteran point guard in Christian Cunningham is so valuable for Chris Mack, is being able to understand when to push it, when to get a nice set-up shot.
Hit the front rim. Enoch, offensive glass against 3 Pittsburgh players, and a foul against the Panthers.
Stephen Enoch putting his imprint on this second half. Big guy on both ends.
Road to the tournament brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. And starting today, 3 of the next 4 games for Jeff Capel and the Panthers on the road and trailing late against the Louisville Cardinals. Just over 4 minutes to go in regulation. 62-47 Louisville. They have fought back from trailing by 4 at halftime. Brown. Well defended by Enoch, doing it at both ends of the floor.
And here's one of the things that I wonder comes into factor. We talked earlier that Jeff Capel concerned about his young guys having a little bit of fatigue factor. Wonder if that comes into the play at the end of the game, because this is not a great three-point shooting team.
Shot clock at 4. Cunningham. Wara trying to beat that shot clock. It's a 3 from the corner for Wara, and 17 points.
If you're Christian Cunningham, the guy that you want to get into is Jordan Wara, who can get that up in a matter of seconds. Louisville fans up on their feet and letting the Cardinals hear it.
Second 3 of the game for Wara. 4 has the board. Wants to run the one-man fast break, and Wilson Frame got back to block it.
The transition defense by Pitt.
McGowan's had it knocked away. Sutton hustled back to deflect it out.
Louisville fans fired up. Cardinals have given them something to be fired up about. When you have an opportunity to get it to them, get it over to Jordan Wara. Cardinals on a run. The part of this Louisville run was Jordan Wara being able to wake off. He started off slow in the first half, only three points in the first half. But then later after the beginning of the second half, he was able to get going. Explosive finishes to the rim, some and ones, and being able to find his rhythm and knock down the 3. Already back up to 17 points. He is our guy, the Chevy performance of the game.
It's brought to you by your local Chevy dealers, Brian. Number 33 for the Cards, 17 points and 14 of them here in the second half. Cards by 18. What a turnaround in the second 20 minutes. Fumbled out of bounds and lost by Endear.
First half, one of the problems for Louisville's were the turnovers. Second half, same thing for Pittsburgh. They have not been able to find any kind of offense. A lot has been Louisville stepping up their game off defensive.
4. Enoch. 4 tried to steal it away from Cameron Davis, but it got whistled for the infraction. Pittsburgh in the bonus. We trot to the other end of the floor here at KFC Yum Center. What an afternoon of college basketball. 9th season in this facility, but the first for Chris Mack as the head coach of the Cards.
How about the expectations for Chris Mack coming into this year? I remember having non-conference game and asked him about the expectations, but now if they hold on being 6-1 in the conference, he's tied for first place.
It would be their 5th win in a row after their victory against a ranked NC State team on Thursday, 84-77. Cards trail by 4 at halftime. Have overcome the deficit and then some with 5 on the shot clock. Wara. Davis the rebound, and we're inside of 2 minutes in regulation. Up and under for Malik Ellison. Son of Purvis Ellison. Part of a national championship team here at Louisville.
My man, never nervous Purvis.
Yeah, that in 1986 in that title for Louisville to go along with the championship in 1980.
Second half, you see the story. Louisville outscoring Pittsburgh by 20. And I thought a lot of that was that they were able to find their composure offensively, and they stepped it up another notch on defense. With things coming in, we wanted to see if they could control the Pitt guards.
It's going to be a foul against McGowans, who was guarding Cunningham. 3rd of McGowans. McGowans, who had just an incredible performance in the previous meeting this season between the teams with 33 points, a freshman school record for Pittsburgh, but McGowan's today just 7, Brian.
Well, and I think that one of the things for Louisville is that on the pick and roll, they took Johnson out early. I think they committed to being able to double him and force someone else to beat them. Pitt was able to get some jump shots, knock some threes down, but then in the second half, Louisville did a better job of being able to prevent them from getting to the basket, and Pitt couldn't knock anything down from behind the arc.
Jordan Wara just came out of the game for the Louisville Cardinals. Wara with 17 points, leading all scorers. Jared Wilson framed the only Pittsburgh Panther in double digits with 14. And Deere on the drive. He's got 8. Final minute of play. The Louisville Cardinals set to improve to 15-5 and 6-1 in conference play, as Cunningham will chew up more of that clock.
I love the play by Christian Cunningham. He knows what pace to play at, and he knows how to get everyone involved.
Enoch misses. And now 30 seconds to go. It'll be 5 wins in a row for Louisville. 6 of their last 7, and 9 of their last 11 games. Wins for the Cardinals, and they do it again this afternoon inside KFC Yum Center. And their best start since joining the conference 5 years ago. (66-51) the final.